cuando amas lo que haces, cuando disfrutas lo que haces, creo que la palabra sacrificio sí, cuesta un poquito explicarla, porque para mí, cuando tú amas lo que haces, pues no es sacrificio. No quiere decir que sea fácil, pues se vuelve, vamos a ponerle que menos difícil, ¿no? ¿Por qué? Porque disfruto mucho lo que hago.
No, todos, todos. Hola.
Do you guys have the questions?
Ha habido grandes peleas entre mexicanos y puertorriqueños, un muchacho joven, fuerte, y creo que es una pelea atractiva para la gente, por eso es que decidí hacer esta pelea y creo que es una pelea interesante.
You think I'm scared of you?
Esto guerra.
La chinga de tu vida te voy a dar. Gracias. Gracias.
No, mi legado ya está y obviamente estamos en un deporte donde se gana y se pierde, pero como te digo, como lo acabas de decir, ¿no? Siempre nos preparamos para ganar y eso ya está escrito, ¿no? El sábado levantaremos la mano y mi legado no cambia, he hecho muchísimo en el boxeo, he hecho muchas cosas y mi legado ya está ahí.
Les pieds loin en avant sur la machine. He started very young. I think he was 16 years old. 15 years old. He have a lot of fight now. I think his performance he's going down, but he's still very dangerous. I think it's perfect timing for me to beat him.
The biggest star in Mexican boxing history is making a comeback this September against a boxer who was once tipped for greatness. Canelo Alvarez, the former undisputed super middleweight champion, is returning to the ring this September 12th against Mbilli. Canelo hasn't fought since September last year when he lost to Terence Crawford in a fight that led him to losing his undisputed status. He's now expected to return in September against the French, Cameroonian Mbilli, as he fights for the WBC super middleweight title. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia is set to play host to this matchup, and it's going to be the first time in Canelo's career that he won't have the massive Mexican fan base supporting him in the arena as he looks to reclaim the world champion titles he lost to Crawford. The two actually crossed paths in Egypt recently, and it was the first time since the fight that we're seeing these two together.
Hey guys, please be careful because this is company very dangerous. Okay? Left, right, please. Yes.
Speaking of Canelo's return, the Mexican revealed in an interview that he's been absent from action thanks to a major elbow surgery he had to undergo after an injury he sustained during the Crawford fight. Canelo had great news for fans awaiting his return, stating that he's back in the gym training for the upcoming fight with Mbilli. While Mbilli is the opponent he chose to fight next, Canelo had plenty of other options at his disposal. Canelo seemed thrilled that he's still the face of boxing despite the setback against Crawford.
You've been out since September. You had elbow surgery after that. You're now back in the camp, tuning things up. How does the body feel?
Oh, feels great. I've been in the gym for a month and a half now, and feels great. I did some sparrings already, and feels great. I'm really excited for the comeback.
And, you know, despite your last result, you have guys calling you out like in a line going around the block. Even Richard Schaefer's on the line, hoping to get in to get the payday. You got guys calling you out at middleweight, super middleweight, even cruiserweight, that are like, we want to fight Canelo next. You've seen, despite everything, you're still the hunted. Everyone wants to get into the Canelo sweepstakes, and I'm sure you're not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And you can tell everybody is looking for the payday.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm glad because you can tell I'm still the face of boxing.
Well, there's no doubt about it.
Canelo also talked about why this comeback means so much to him. With an eye on reclaiming the world titles, Canelo is eager to take on all the big names with the belt, and while he's focused on the Christian Mbilli fight next, he /his team are looking at potential matchups for his next fight in 2027. Canelo is also put in a weird spot where he'd probably have to fight Mexican compatriot Jaime Munguia again. The two fought in May 2024, where Canelo successfully defended his undisputed status. When asked about the possibility of a Munguia rematch, Canelo quickly shut it down, stating that he has no intentions of accepting that fight because he considers the Mexican rising star as a friend. He and his team would rather look elsewhere and hinted at the possibility of fighting in a different weight class for world titles. He also shut down talks about retirement, claiming that people love to talk, but he doesn't let that come in the way of him achieving his goals.
Last time out we spoke, you said you want to reclaim what's yours. Is this the first step to reclaiming everything in the division?
We don't know that. Obviously, we always want to make the best fights out there and break records. And when I step in the ring, I always break records, and that motivates myself. So, and we don't know. We 100% focus on this fight and win this fight, and then we'll see. But that's the point is fight every single champion.
Because you say that, and I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, you were there supporting a former opponent who is now a good friend, Jaime Munguia, and I'm like, he just won a piece of the super middleweight crown, and if you two are the last guys standing, it puts you two in an awkward position.
No, I'm not gonna fight Munguia again.
Yeah.
No, we are in the same team, and we like Munguia. He's a great person, and he worked very hard, and we never gonna fight again. But we're always looking for good fights, big fights, and I think there's other big fights out there.
Now, after your last fight, some of the critics were out there and saying, maybe age is finally catching up to Canelo. Maybe, he's had this long career, he's accomplished everything that someone could accomplish, he's got enough money in the bank to buy buildings. Does any of that get to you, or you just push that out like, I'll show them in my next fight?
No, I know, and I feel myself. I don't, people talk every time, good and bad. And at the end of the day, there is just opinions, because I feel great. I don't want to say I'm gonna show them, because I don't really want to show anybody. I want to show myself, and do my best every time I step in the ring. But people talk, and that's fine. That's fine.
The boxing world is eager to see Canelo take on the big names in the sport, and one fight everyone is eagerly anticipating is the fight with the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. We all know that this fight is probably never going to happen, but many still had a glimmer of hope that maybe they could see these two stars settle their feud in the ring. Well, Canelo just shut down these hopes for good, hinting that this fight will never happen because David Benavidez has already moved to cruiserweight and moving back down to light heavyweight could be next to impossible for him.
So, what did you make of David Benavidez's performance against Zurdo and him calling you out after that fight?
Yeah, I think every single boxer for any division, they calling me out. So it's something, nothing's new for me that. But he did good in the fight.
Are you surprised after all these years he's still calling you names and looking to get that fight, even with him boxing as high as cruiserweight?
No, I'm not surprised.
Is it realistic for 175?
Huh?
Is it realistic to fight him at light heavyweight?
Who?
Benavidez.
I don't think he can make even 175 anymore. I don't know, but it's not my problem.
Speaking of Canelo's next opponent, Christian Mbilli, he's more than excited about this matchup. In his latest interview on the Ring podcast, Mbilli expressed his happiness about finally having the opportunity to fight Canelo. The 31-year-old was eager to fight the Mexican for a long time, but he and his team had to wait since Canelo was scheduled to fight Terrence Crawford in the biggest fight in boxing last year. Mbilli also touched on fight negotiations for his upcoming fight, explaining how tough it was, but now that the contract is signed and the dates are fixed, he's up for the challenge.
It was a surprise for me when they asked for the fight, but I'm very happy to fight Canelo for my next fight.
Did you have in your, well, before Terrence Crawford announced his retirement, were you thinking there might be a chance you might fight Crawford since he had all the titles?
Maybe everything was possible, but he was waiting for Crawford. But some people say he's gonna retire, some people say he's gonna stay, but we was waiting for him.
Now, you've been waiting for an opportunity like this your entire career. How quick did you sign that contract when it came over?
The contract was not seen very quick because, negotiation was very hard. My team was working for this fight. We are waiting for this fight along of many years before, and we stay active. We take a lot of fight, a lot of boxer, difficult fight, and when the fight come, my team was like, they make sure that I have a good contract, and after contract negotiation finish, we sign very fast.
During the interview, Mbilli made a surprising comment regarding Canelo's age and why this is the right time for him to fight Canelo. He feels that fighting a boxer who's just been out of surgery gives him the perfect advantage. Mbilli quickly contracted his initial comment by stating that despite his age, Canelo is still a dangerous fighter. Nevertheless, he's looking to prove his worth in the ring and wants to give Canelo Alvarez the best he has.
Some people said after the fight, obviously, a lot of critics were like, maybe he's finally getting to his age. He started very young, as a teenager. He's not old in terms of age, but he started much earlier than most fighters would go pro. Did you see anything in yourself as a fighter that said, you know what, I see might be a little bit of a step off?
Of course. He started very young. I think he was 16 years old. 15 years old. He have a lot of fight now. I think his performance is going down, but he's still very dangerous. I think it's perfect timing for me to beat him.
Some critics say you have the perfect style for him, and then other critics are saying after a year off and elbow surgery, this is not the kind of fighter he may want to get in the ring with, who's going to go right to him in the first round and throw 100 punches around.
Of course, I think I'm very dangerous fighter for him, and but I have to be careful too because he's Canelo. He's not like a small boxer, but I think I will make a very statement with this fight, and I'm very dangerous for him.
Mbilli also revealed his game plan to tackle Canelo in the ring. Mbilli is a unique boxer with his own peculiar fighting style, and Canelo is going to find it tough in the early rounds to figure out Mbilli. He also possesses a granite chin that Canelo's gonna find hard to break. Mbilli knows it's not gonna be an easy night for the Mexican superstar and plans to use his skills to his best advantage.
I'm gonna put more pressure, more combination, and I'm gonna work my defense too. But you know, I'm in the ring to put great show, to make an amazing fight, and it will be the same for Canelo.
I think Canelo hasn't fought anyone with close to your style, in my opinion, probably since maybe someone like a James Kirkland at 154 pounds, but you're a lot bigger and a lot more intelligent in the way you fight than Kirkland. He was very reckless, and I think you have a better chin.
Of course, I have a better chin. I think, yeah, physically, yeah.
Do you think because Canelo traditionally in his fights, he likes to start slow, takes a couple of rounds, examine his opponents, and usually his opponents let him. Because of age and what you've seen, you have to be the regular Christian Mbilli from the first second and test the veteran's legs out and his stamina to see if you could deal with those 100 punches around.
I will not change anything, I will throw punch the first second and the last second of the fight, and I hope he will be ready, because it will be an amazing fight for him. I think he will regret to be in the ring.
During this interview, Mbilli also dropped cues for Canelo to be wary of his non-stop pressure and high-volume punching, stating that these will be too much for Canelo to handle. He believes Canelo has never faced an opponent with his level of relentless aggression. When discussing his last outing against Lester Martinez, where he earned a draw, Mbilli admits he was far from his best, due to a grueling 6-month training camp and 0 rest before taking the short-notice undercard slot. He felt he fought at just 15% of his actual ability, suffering from drained energy and compromised stamina. He asserts that with proper rest, he would have easily destroyed Martinez.
With Canelo, what do you think you do best that he won't be able to deal with, that he may not have seen before with his opponents, especially at super middleweight?
My aggressivity, my pressure. He never fight people who throw a lot of punch like me and put a lot of pressure. And I think, yeah, physically I'm going to destroy him.
Your last time out, you were with Lester Martinez, which was a tough fight. He's also very skilled, very tough fighter, and it was one of the better fights last year. It was a contender for many people for Fight of the Year. It wasn't the outcome you wanted. Obviously, you and your team felt strongly you should have gotten the decision. Is there still unfinished business there down the line?
Yeah, for this fight, I was not ready. I was not maybe in 15% of my ability, like my energy. I make a great training camp, but before this fight, I have made like 6 months of training camp before my last fight, and between my 2 fights, I was not have time to rest, and we have big opportunity to fight in undercut of Canelo and Crawford. We say yes, but I was not ready for this fight. I think if I had like 2-3 months of rest before the fight, it will be completely different fight. I think I will be able to destroy him like I do every time.
So did you feel like, as the fight went on, like a difference in your stamina and your endurance that you haven't felt because of the circumstances you just described?
Yeah. I was not 100% to this fight, and for sure, 100%.
Because I remember watching it up close, and I was very up close. I was like, wow, this fight's even better than I anticipated.
Yeah. And I was only 15% of my ability. If you see, if I was like 100%, it would be different.
Christian Mbilli is eager to earn a historic victory over Canelo, and experts think that he might very well do the unthinkable. Former boxing pro Sergio Mora, meanwhile, warned Canelo about fighting Christian Mbilli. Mora warned that Christian Mbilli presents a highly dangerous matchup for Canelo Alvarez. He described Mbilli as a physical tank who stays glued to his opponent's chest, fights aggressively from both stances, and brings relentless power that makes it hard to look good against him. Mora noted that Canelo is an older, war-torn, flat-footed fighter with 75 professional bouts, who now prefers imposing his aura rather than engaging in grueling dogfights. Because Canelo won't box or move, Mora expects a highly physical, dangerous night.
Between Lester Martinez and Mbilli, I'd much rather him fight Lester Martinez. Both of them are similar in stature, but Lester Martinez is more of a boxer where he can give you chances of him pulling back and you can crack him. And Mbilli stays in your chest. He's a fucking tank. He stays in your chest. He squares up. He fights from the southpaw stance, left-handed stance. Hard to look good against guys like that, and a natural bigger fighter, that's going to be a tougher fight for Canelo. And at this stage of Canelo's career, he doesn't like physical fights. He likes to impose his aura. He likes to impose his reputation, guys to be intimidated. Ain't going to be Christian Mbilli. Mbilli has power, aggression, and he's ready for this moment, ready for the payday. It's going to be a tough fight for Canelo. Mark my words, man. Tough fight for Canelo.
And it's something else. Just it speaks to who Canelo still is, though. When you talk about a guy like Canelo Alvarez coming back against a guy like Mbilli, I mean, just lost by the skin of his teeth the last time out versus Martinez.
It was a draw.
It was a draw, exactly. But what do you think has to happen? And it's weird because it feels like he lost. But because I guess where Lester went on to achieve glory. But what do you think that Canelo has to do to look good versus Mbilli? What do you think he should be working on right now to come back strong?
Look, man, the only way to make it an easy night against a style like Mbilli is boxing. Canelo's not a boxer. Canelo's not going to be moving. Canelo's a flat-footed fighter. He's an older flat-footed fighter with 75 damn professional fights. He's been fighting professionally since he was 15. He's war-torn. The last thing you want is to be war-torn, to have physical ailments, and be in there in a physical fight with an undefeated puncher that's hungry for this moment. You got to give it to Canelo for stepping up. They must have paid him a huge amount of money, that Saudi money, to step in with Mbilli. It's a dangerous fight for him, man. It's a dangerous, dangerous fight.
Jos Benavidez Sr., father of David Benavidez, mocked Canelo for accepting this fight in Saudi Arabia of all places for Mexican Independence Day, one of the biggest holidays in the country. While stating that Canelo might win this fight, he dismissed that Canelo has any influence in the sport. Jose Benavidez feels that Canelo's era is over and that David Benavidez has taken that place. He further criticized Canelo, calling him old and finished as a boxer, noting a clear decline in his reflexes, speed, power, and legs. He further added that this fight was handpicked by him and his promoters, and that fans do not want to see Canelo's unexciting, handpicked matchups anymore.
Doesn't make sense. That's not a real fight. So real fighters fight real fights.
But since you know how the date is opening up, would you like to, cement September and May for you guys?
Taking over. May and September, we're taking over.
Jose, do you think that was strategic of them to try to, wait for this weekend, right? First he announced that he's coming to the fight, then he announced, his next fight, kind of seeming to ride the coattails a little bit of David?
I think he's chasing cloud, to be honest, to promote his fight and do more appearances. We know where Canelo's going. He was pound per pound. He's not even ranking the rankings right now, so I think we're all going to go through that stage, and I think his era is done, Reflexes, speed, power, legs are not there. So we see a Canelo declining little by little, and now he's trying to get some clout to promote his fight.
With his skills diminishing, like in your opinion, how does the Mbilli fight play out? Because Mbilli is a tough guy, right?
To be honest, it could be another loss for him. Like I said, Mbilli is a little bit fresher, but I don't think he's an elite fighter. At the end of the day, they're trying to put fighters that he can beat. Not guaranteed, but fighters that are not. Nobody wants to see that fight. It's not an exciting fight. He doesn't bring any more excitement to the fight. He hasn't brought any excitement to the fights. So Cinco de Mayo is open for a great opportunity for the Mexican monster. We are gonna look spectacular. We can't just win a fight. We got to look spectacular in order to show the people that we belong here. And we're taking over September also.
The boxing world has vastly different opinions regarding this fight. While one side believes this is an easy fight for Canelo to make a comeback and become world champion again, the other side feels that Canelo is walking into a trap that could ruin his legacy forever. But what do you think of Canelo's boxing return? Can he reclaim the titles he lost? Who do you have winning the fight in September? Drop your predictions in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.